I'm back, baby. I may be a little under the weather, but I'm back. Well, listen, welcome back to the table. Daredevil Born Again, episode 8. it's I can safely say that this show is a massive hit, and we have one episode to go. But grab your chairs, pull them up to the table. Let's talk about Daredevil. Let's go. Welcome back to the table, everybody. Look, apologies, I'm a little under the weather. It's been a minute. I haven't been around. Some stuff going on, but I had to come back and talk about Daredevil. But I'm not by myself, but you know who I am. It's Kev, aka Spider Kev. I got my boys with me. Frankie. I wasn't gonna say the
What's up, Kev? So sad to see you're not feeling good, but yeah, we'll get through this. We got a fantastic episode to talk about.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. All right. Next up, Mike Murdoch.
Me? Oh, goodness. Kev, I'm sorry you're under the weather, homie. We're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. You're going to get some herbal tea. You're going to get some of the Uncle Iro specialty, and you're going to be all right, homie.
Oh, boy. All right, sounds like a good time. And lastly, the owner of Baby Gorilla Comics, Jose.
What's going on, guys? It's Jose here from Baby Gorilla Comics, like you said, and we're bringing back the big three. Just saying, we'll talk more about that.
Oh, okay, all right. I like the sound of that. All right, but yes, this is our full spoiler for Daredevil Born Again, episode 8. So if you have not watched it, put this on watch later. Come back and listen to this conversation because you're not going to want to miss it, boys. I said in the beginning, Marvel and Disney Plus have not their TV shows haven't been great. It hasn't been great. Now, to me, this is a hit. This is a hit that Marvel and Disney Plus needed, and I'm so glad that it's amazing. It's in my top 3. It just is. It just says I don't care how the ending's going to be. I know it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's definitely a good show, and this episode did not disappoint. Did not disappoint at all, man. It's not. Right from the beginning. They start with the Blue Rose, and you got our boy Bullseye.
Yes, sir.
Point Dexter. Looking out the window. You got the blue flower, which I had to look that up. Like, what does the blue flower mean? And it means like unattainable dreams. Like, so, but then it also represented his color of his character, just like, Daredevil's red. But yeah, they mentioned the big 3. If you guys remember Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they talked about the big 3 in the second episode, which were aliens, wizards, and androids. And in this episode, they said, yeah, remember the big 3 used to only be cops, snitches, and psychos. So as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, they mentioned the big 3 before.
Yep.
And had to go back and replay that episode.
But it's the grounded version.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
So you have your street level big 3, and then you have your big 3 for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not the street level guys. But I just thought that was a clever callback to Falcon and the Winter Soldier by Kevin Feige.
That's a good catch.
Absolutely. But it does start out, the whole screen turns blue, like Jose said, and it goes into the blue flowers that Point Dexter is looking at. Then he gets transported to the other side of prison, where the shot of everyone just mean looking at him. He knows he has to lock in, and that's why, again, the screen turns blue and you hear the buzzing. because he knows Bullseye has to lock in.
He's going into Gen Pop.
Yup.
As a former FBI agent too, like, oh
Yep.
no. I've seen Oz enough times to know what happens in those situations.
But yeah, they just show
supposed to.
him. You know what's funny is that he goes, I'm not supposed to be here.
Mhm.
Yep.
And later on in the show, you find out why he's not supposed to be there. But we'll save that for later. I'm sure most of you guys already know what I'm talking about. But he goes, I'm not supposed to be here. And
Mhm.
those words
So I have like
are true.
I got like a really like maybe like pulling at straws here, but supposed to be here. Reminds me of one movie, and it reminds me of Clerks, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith has a really epic run on Daredevil. So I'm like, was that a little callback to Kevin Smith? Maybe, or maybe I'm just a stoner fan and look too far into comedies. Because
they
Dante
might have
Randall's
given
like,
it
I'm
to
not
him.
supposed to be here today.
It's
So,
all right. We've
I don't
all been there, brother. But yeah, we go from Poindexter Bullseye, going from in there to we get right into Matt and Heather talking.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Whoa.
Mhm.
She's sitting there thinking, she goes, I just killed a man. And then that conversation goes completely sideways for Matt, at least. You know,
Yeah.
go for it.
Just seeing that like, I'm gonna kind of combine these two scenes of we got Matt and Dr. Glenn, and we got Vanessa and Wilson talking, and it seems like everything that's bad is going in Matt's relationship right now is going good in Wilson's relationship right now. They start talking about Vanessa is like, oh well, you know, you're throwing everything. Wilson thanks Vanessa for taking the not public face of the business and running it and doing better than he ever did. And she says, well, thank you. That's why I'm so surprised that you threw it away. And Wilson says, like, I'm not throwing it away. I'm transforming it, which just shows that like their two strengths are coming together
Right.
as good as it can. And then on the flip side of that coin, we got Matt doing what he truly is at Daredevil. He's a hero. He tried to save this person. And if she knows, she knows. If she doesn't, I'm not sure yet. But she
I
takes
think
that
she's
and
putting
just
it together.
and flips it around. And she's like, this was terrible. Like, this wouldn't have happened if he wasn't there. And like, it's just a complete like dichotomy between the Kingpin and Daredevil's life right now.
And when she was having that conversation with Matt is so adamant that Daredevil's a hero and Muse was the bad guy, and she's putting them in the same category.
Yep.
Because to them, as she explained it, they're children dressed up in mask, overcompensating for something, you know. And Matt's like, no, how can you put them in the same spectrum? Like, they're not the same. Matt, Daredevil saved you. And she goes, you don't know that, you weren't there. I saved me. Technically, she did.
Exactly.
She
Like,
shot him, you know, but it
She shot him,
wouldn't have
yeah.
happened if it wasn't for Daredevil. But to see their perspectives so differently, and she doesn't know yet that it was Matt that's Daredevil. I'm sure she will by the end of the next episode. But yeah, there's so much in that relationship, the trust, and you just see how Matt is so defensive in this episode and
I
so
think-
pissed off.
I think Matt's shell of euphoria and escapism is cracking as well. You know, she is an escape for him. She is this distraction from his true identity of Daredevil. And when she's sitting there saying, "Oh, well, these people are just children," this is such a flip from earlier in the season where we have Daredevil and White Tiger talking about who their identity is, and like the fact that White Tiger is saying like, no, he's a part of me. I am White Tiger. There is no White Tiger without me. Like, I am not anything without White Tiger. And Matt's like, well, no, you could be something else, because he's trying to ignore and forget that. But the reality is it's all a distraction. He's just using this distraction technique, and now it's starting to break. And I think that this like fantasy of like, oh, I can have a normal life, I can have a girlfriend, I can have, this loving relationship, is getting shattered, especially by the way she's talking about superheroes and supervillains
She's
and
angry.
everything.
She is pissed. She is
Mhm.
pissed. Her whole life has been turned upside down, like completely
Yeah, like-
upside down from her normalcy.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that-
then you get a knock on the door. Oh
You
my!
This
Well,
just
what
throws
is it?
fuel
You-
on
you've been-
Matt's franticity.
You've been invited to the ball.
Mhm.
She's like, do you want to go? He goes, I don't think it's a good idea. Plus, I wasn't invited. Oh yeah, it's invited to Heather and I guessed.
Oh
He
yeah,
goes,
he great.
And like, how crazy does Matt look? He's just like, no, this guy, no. Like, he's not explaining his past with the guy. He's not
He
letting her
can't,
know
though.
that, like, exactly. So he just looks like a crazy person. And then when
But
he finds out that she's was it at this point when he finds out that she's their psychiatrist?
She
Yep.
doesn't confirm
Yes.
it, but he
Yeah.
knows. And
Or
like,
their
tell me,
client.
he's not your client. And she goes, "You better watch your tone." Oh, the New Yorker came out in her real quick. It's like, you better watch your tone, boy. And Matt was just like, Matt's not making sense to her. He goes, he's using me to get to you. And in her head, she has to be
Mhm.
asking herself, why? Like, why would he be using, you're just a lawyer. I get it. You defended him and stuff like that, or, you fought him, but she doesn't know the Daredevil aspect of it. So you just see that whole relationship in this episode just deteriorating.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just
And-
see it deteriorating.
This is like the start too of, well, earlier was, but this Kingpin really trying to do his flex on without letting anyone know of, he knows Daredevil's back and he wants to start sticking it to Matt. So he looks into his life, he finds his girlfriend, and he knows Matt's going to freak out about it. I think I'll save the other part for later, but it's Wilson being a Kingpin 10 steps ahead and really starting to stick at the Matt, and Matt's squirming. He's not used to it. He's not in the right headspace. And with what he said last week, that he feels this relationship is kind of fake and none of this is really true, because he's not his true self. And he
Mhm.
needs to accept that he is both Daredevil and Matt Murdock.
But she like puts a knife in his back when she goes, vigilantes are dangerous, and she agrees with Fisk.
Mm-hmm.
And this man just told her he loved her last week, and now she's saying that vigilantes are bad people and Fisk is right. We should ban them, we should hunt them down. And even though she was saved by one, she wasn't saved by one. She saved herself in her eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like, how would any normal person look at the situation of, these two guys are destroying the office around me, and I picked up the gun and fired it at the guy who was like doing the most damage? Yeah, you saved yourself. Daredevil didn't do crap. All he did was hold him back.
Well,
It's-
and that's the whole
That's how a
thing.
normal person would see it.
But that's
Died
also
if it
how
wasn't for-
a therapist is going to psychoanalyze the events and say, well, I saved myself. These two people that I put on the same level as both being evil necessarily. Neither one of them was saving me. They were just fighting each other, and I just so happened to be there, and I saved myself. So she's psychoanalyzing it, and that's how she's rationalizing it to herself. and
Yeah,
not
she's
really like
the normal person.
yeah.
And simultaneously, you have Fisk Kingpin having the same conversation with Vanessa.
Mhm.
At the
Yep.
they've done this so great throughout this season, where these two lives
Mhm.
are parallel to each other, but they're also
Mhm.
at opposite ends of each other the entire time, but at the same time. Like
Mm.
the storytelling has been absolutely amazing. And you have Fisk taking Vanessa to, Red Hook, where her boy Adam's waiting for her.
Mm.
Yo, Adam looks pretty good for
Man.
eating a brick sandwich last week.
More than a brick sandwich, bro.
It's really nice that like Wilson Fisk provides dental plans for his captives.
Oh, we'll get into dental plans later, buddy.
Oh my god!
Nice one though.
Oh man,
But yeah.
yeah. Mm.
But yeah,
that
the
was
two parallels. They're having Heather and Matt having their conversation, and then Fisk and Vanessa are having theirs. One relationship is fixing their problems, while the other one's is causing
my man
problems.
Kev. You
And
did
at the
exactly
end,
right, brother.
yeah. And in the beginning, it was the complete opposite,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep.
But she walks him down, and the surprise, the look on her face when she sees Adam, she's just like, "What the hell?" And he's pleading to her, and Fist, and the guy's just like, "I'm sorry, I'm not a part of this." And Fist is just yells like, "Shut up! I can't take it. I can't take his voice. I can't look at his hands, the way he touched you." Yeah, like,
Yep.
and he
Mhm.
loses it, and he flat out tells her, "If without you, I am no one. If I can't
Mhm.
be with you, I cannot be." That was some like, Edgar Allan Poe type
The
stuff.
the line the lines
That's some
the lines from
some
this episode
YouTube
were
Bono
crazy.
stuff.
The lines from this episode was crazy, and
There
we're
was
gonna
a
talk
lot of
more
good
about it.
one-liners.
But
But
he gave her a choice. He gave her a key and a gun. What was she gonna do? Shoots him 3-4 times.
3
Mhm.
times.
Even that image of the key and the gun just sitting on the table of like, which one are you going to take?
Yeah.
It's just so good. They've done like amazing cinematography for this show, and the way that they're like, we're going to give you this option, and we're going to make you feel like you're making that decision while she's also making that decision and taking the key or the gun. Like it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
the
so
fact
good.
that
And
Fisk is like when she's like kind of like giving like the WTF face, sorry. And he's like, I'm a better person than I was. And like
yeah,
he's not
I was
lying.
going to
Like,
bring that up.
yep. And if we like track this back to like episode 2, maybe there was the when they were at Dr. Glenn, I believe, and she asked, "What is the strongest form of love? What is the strongest act of love?" And it's forgiveness. And I guess she kind of forgave him.
Well, he said, I promise I will never leave you again. And
Yep.
she goes, "I know." She's been playing chess. She's been behind
Mhm.
this whole thing the whole time, and it proves it. And I like how they let you know that in the very next scene, they let you know how good him and Vanessa are currently in the storyline. Because the next scene is what? It's Daniel, him in office with Daniel, Buck, and Sheila.
Mhm.
And Daniel's so funny, man. He had some good one-liners in this episode where he's talking about Fist is like, we're gonna take inventory of all our victories. But before that, he goes, "What, you expect me to go shake hands and pet dogs and stuff like that?" And Daniel looks at her and goes, "Was that on the schedule?" But
Fisk is prepping him to be the next Fisk. He really
oh,
is. Because Daniel is so obsessed with him, he literally says, "I will burn for you. I will do anything for you." And Will Smith goes, "I know,"
and he does. He would. He
I
will
know.
do anything, but he promoted him to deputy mayor of communication.
Bingo.
Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, what's the pay grade on that? Like, come on.
He's making he's making at least $100,000.
Exactly.
But
To
he
what? Run a
tells him,
Facebook? Awesome. Great.
he pledges his allegiance to Fist. Like, I'll do whatever you need me to do, no matter what. I will burn for you. You know, just like Kev said. Like, this dude's a villain in the making.
Bingo.
Just a villain in the making.
The beginning of that scene, he was that when he talked to BB at first or no?
No. He talks to
No,
BB.
No, that was
later.
later on the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
BB's later.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that happened in that scene. And the callback to how Vanessa's relationship with him was that he goes, Vanessa knows Vanessa must have stopped by the office finally after 7 episodes. She hasn't been to the office. And she goes, yeah, that's Frivello LaGuardian desk.
Yeah.
Because remember, he asked in the second episode, he goes, if Vanessa was here, she would know what desk this is. But it was just a small hint, or just a subtle telling of where they're at in their relationship after the whole situation with her and Adam happened. And she popped him 3 times like it was nothing. Like Heather did to Muse.
Like, who would have known, like, at the beginning of this series, that Vanessa and Kingpin would be the healthy relationship?
All hands. Go on.
The loyalty.
Exactly.
The loyalty. That's funny. But yeah, like, oh my God. And then you got Matt meets with Kirsten in the office, and she tells him, I gotta tell you something, buddy. Your boy Bullseye is in Gen Pop.
Yeah.
And Matt's reaction to that.
And he wants to see him.
And I wrote it down. Matt says like something that is just beautiful. He says, we're not serving justice, we're babysitting chaos. And I was like, oh, that's genius.
But even before that, it was with the client and how he knows
that
he's
goofball.
lying. Yeah. He looks at
Johnny
me.
Bag of Donuts. Yeah, that dude.
He just turns and goes,
say it again.
Say it again. Say it again. And
he
like,
knows he's lying.
Yeah. And he snaps. And he snaps.
And that's when Kristen drops that line. You know, we're not serving justice, we're babysitting chaos.
Because he knows when the system fails.
Oh, holy smokes, dude, that's dope.
Thanks,
but that's the same thing Fist was saying in 2 episodes ago when he was laughing at the desk. He goes, sometimes you have to just take justice in your own hands when the system fails. And Matt is saying the same thing, and they're at the same exact points at different times. It's crazy, the parallels.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, the parallels. It's awesome.
But they're also flip sides of coins. You know, Matt is justice, like true justice. And Kingpin is a corrupt justice. It's justice for me, not for everybody. It's justice for those that I deem worthy, not for everybody. Where Matt's like, no, everybody needs justice.
And they both see it the same way. Like, they both think they're right in their way of being a criminal and being a vigilante. They think they're both right.
Right. Yep.
But this show proves that they are both right and they are both wrong in a lot of ways.
Exactly. Look at Fisk last week when he was like, I took the blue collar man and made him millions. And like, well, on what? On the blood and like the sacrifice and the all those people, the suffering. And let's see, what does Matt kind of be a hero on? He beats up people, pulls blood, and causes misery for other people, whether they're bad or not. but it's still they're kind of the same.
That's what
Yeah.
Punisher said to him. You know, you hit people, they get back up.
I hit people, they stay down.
Uh-huh.
And talking about suffering, where are they at next? At Josie's.
Where it
My
all
Yeah.
starts.
Oh man.
Where it all
R.I.P.
begins.
Froggy. I'm not even Catholic, but
Oh.
I was just like, R.I.P. Josie's. That looks like a dope bar. They
Yeah.
need to shut that
Because
down.
that's what that it takes place a year after he passed away,
Mhm.
right?
yeah,
Yep.
a little after a year,
it's
and
still looking like that. It's still looking
Mhm.
rough.
but that scene, although so small, said so much.
Oh my goodness.
So much.
Like he's sitting there and he's talking to Josie, and she said something to him, like, what the hell did she say? We celebrate the victories and we forget about something to that extent.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I drew a blank with that, but like,
It's a toast.
and then yeah, the toast.
And yeah, that was a deep callback because that was
Yeah.
like kind of listed in there like 3 episodes ago.
Oh, I got it. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, go for it, man.
May you always remember to forget the things that make you sad, but never forget to remember the things that make you glad.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't even read my own handwriting.
Oh, dude,
Wow.
same.
But like, and then all of a sudden Jerry walks in,
Mhm.
and like he does it again. He says, "Oh, Jerry's just walking in." How do you know that by his footsteps? Like Josie would think, a normal person be like, "What the hell you mean?" But it's not a big deal. But he brings out the drink. She talks about the last drink that Froggy had, and with Kirsten actually, that he had, and she, what was the name of that drink? But she says that,
Expensive whiskey.
yeah, it was
Yeah, I don't remember the brand.
O'Malley's, O'Mavani's, something like
O'Malley
It-
sounds
it's
about
the
right.
drink
O'Malley.
that they drink when they're going to win or they
that.
won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an
O'Malley.
Irishman, I say O'Malley's.
Yeah. And he
And
was
she
like,
says that.
no, that couldn't be his last drink because he only drinks that when he celebrates. And then she goes, I've been serving you bums for years. You think I don't know what I serve my people?
She said, "You Irish bums."
and Matt just goes, wait, he's putting 2 and 2 together. And he goes, I gotta go.
And he walks away without using the cane. And
without,
Josie figures out, she's like, he didn't use the cane.
and Jerry's
Sherry
like,
goes,
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
Take another
That-
sip.
Good.
That's a true homie.
That's true.
He's sticking
Even
by
though
it.
he's been low key annoying, but yeah.
Oh man. And then you got Poindexter meeting Matt in prison, or Matt meeting Poindexter, Bullseye.
Oh,
I don't know what to
boy.
call the dude, but he meets
This
him in
shot,
prison.
man. That shot of him on the other side of the room and him sitting there like
Mm.
Hannibal Lecter with his arms just big
Mhm.
cuffs and everything. Oh man, it's so
And
good.
Matt snaps. It was just too much for Matt.
He goes,
That
"Oh, I'm
was
too
sorry,
much for him.
sweetheart."
Yeah, like
I love
that was.
sassy
And
Matt.
what do you want me to, like, make you a plea deal? Like, oh my goodness!
Yeah.
And like he's just
But he
spitting
goes-
it out too. Like,
Crazy thought. Does Matt snap, or did Matt do a calculated move?
I hope to God not.
It would
No, Matt
surprise-
snapped.
Yeah, because
Did
if
he
he did a
snap or did he
calculated move and
calculate
smashed his
move?
face, then
Because he doesn't want to actually have to fulfill him as a client, right?
Mhm.
Because he was told he's getting called in for this. And
Yeah.
his partner is telling him, like, we service everybody. Like,
Mhm.
So is he doing a calculated move here where he's like, oh, well, if I smash his head in,
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to get him out of.
he was pissed. He was so pissed. He wanted answers, and the only way, like, he should have never went to see him. He was a defender or a plaintiff in his trial. Like, he should have never went there. He should have never went to, and that's what Kirsten was telling me. Don't go there. It's bad news. And he went anyway because he put two and two together. He goes, who hired you? You're a hired hitman. Who hired you to kill Foggy? Like he was gonna win a
Yeah.
case from Dumb Benny, that the
Mhm.
Benny the Bum or whatever the hell his name was. And like we still don't know what that crime was, but it was something big that implemented Vanessa, which we'll talk about later. And he didn't get the answer.
But it's also what I think his quote from Bullseye snapped on too. He said, "Oh my god, how do you say it?" He goes, "It's all about good guys." Hold on.
Oh,
Oh
good
man,
men defend the worst enemies, and you're a good
Yeah.
guy.
you're a good. Yeah, you're a good guy, right?
Good
Good.
guys defend the worst
They
enemies.
defend the worst enemies. Yeah.
And that comes back into play later on at the end of this show.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it
Mhm.
does.
That exact thing comes back into play. And then, but Matt, Matt takes his head, he's leaving, and he goes, "Oh, I need to be out of here. They're gonna kill me. Do you hear the roar out there? These people want to kill me."
And he says, "I'm fighting for my life in here." And like in
Oh,
my head,
sweetheart.
yeah, in my head, I'm like, "Is Foggy like was he able to fight for his life?" And I know like, that's when Matt snapped.
Yeah. And Matt just, but I just like the fact that Matt takes his head and just snaps it 3 times, pop, 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 right on the head. And he says thank you. And later on, we find out why he says thank you, because Bullseye uses that in the infirmary he loosened his tooth by snapping his head down like that. And he goes, "Oh, he hit his own head against the thing."
Oh my god, oh dude, that was
He
I could
starts
not
smashing
take
his
it.
face in the table.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that part in a bit. But next scene, it's ball time. It's the little dance. Everyone's in their nice little suits and nice pretty dresses, and apparently have great champagne. Daniel and BB have their conversation.
Yes.
Mm.
God, he's such an ass.
Dude, he's in there he flexing like
Such an ass. I hate him. And BB
But-
is just sees right through him.
But no,
Mhm.
even before the conversation with BB, he meets up with Kirsten. And what does he say to Kirsten? When we first started working together, I really worried about if we were going to get along.
mhm.
I don't worry so much anymore. Dude, if that didn't set the tone for how he is or who he is, he doesn't care anymore. He's a big shot now. In
Mhm.
his own head,
Yep.
he thinks he's a big shot.
He
And he's
gave
going
her
to
the
go
fuck
over
you.
and walk to BB and try to be all sweet to BB.
He gave her the middle finger.
Yep.
That's what he did.
Big time.
And like
Yeah.
and just the way he was like, I'm sorry about that, having her do the whole story on Daredevil not saving the day. And it was just you could tell like how slimy she felt about that. And like the fact that he was just like, yeah, but things happen and you gotta do it. You gotta play the game. Yeah, what a slime ball.
But did
He
you
doesn't see that
notice?
he's getting played.
Yeah, and that's
He
what,
doesn't see
like,
it.
BB, when he says, I just became mayor deputy of communication, and BB just looks at him like in shock. But in BB's head,
Mhm.
she's like, this dude's an idiot.
Mhm.
And now he's the head of communication for the mayor. I'm gonna get all the juice. And
Mhm.
Yep.
she's just setting him up, and he doesn't even know it. And then she gets even more ammo with the commissioner later, because she talks to the commissioner and he's accusing her of being on his payroll on Fitz's payroll, and she's accusing him of being the head of the task force who are on Fist's payroll. So they get a mutual understanding that they don't like each other. And then he goes, Fist was the #1 suspect in your uncle's murder. And she goes, I know. She's been playing the game the whole time.
Time.
The
Mhm.
whole
Dude, she's
time.
got that long con going. Like
Yep.
she's way, way into it.
And
Yeah.
not for nothing, like Daniel in society, mainstream society is not considered an attractive guy and handsome guy, got game, got thing. So if she gives him a little attention, she's going to use that to her advantage, and he's going to be all over her. She's playing the shit out of him,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're on the
Gullible.
yeah, and then she's on the same page with the commissioner, which we'll get in the conversation that happens between the commissioner and Powell, but you have that conversation going on, and at the same time you have the swordsman having a conversation with Fisk, and he's pissed. It wasn't a good conversation.
It's been the whole night because now he's got everyone.
Let's
who he
put a
talked to
pin in
that
that because we
office.
got to backtrack. We got to backtrack.
Okay.
Okay. Such a tease.
We got to backtrack to the. we got to talk about who's making their way to the party and how he's making his way to the party. We got to go back to Poindexter in the infirmary.
Mm.
Oh, you want to go back to the
It's
infirmary?
gonna
Okay.
make me throw up.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you just out of the
that-
comic.
Yeah, he takes
Yeah, it was.
that tooth
Time
and
to talk
just
dental plan.
spits it in the dude's eye and
Yeah,
takes
exactly.
rips those scissors apart. Swap.
Now I have a question. Before that even
Dude,
happened,
that was so gross.
I have a question. Why is he not handcuffed or anything?
He was.
No, he wasn't.
Budget cuts.
He was
Yeah.
taking his handcuffs off.
He didn't have his Lecter sleeves on.
Yeah.
No, he didn't have
Yeah.
anything. What?
No, he was in the infirmary.
What?
I guess.
Still, the
They
man
have to-
makes his
I don't
tooth
know.
a weapon. What do you expect was going to happen?
Ooh,
How, he needs to
I don't
be
think
ruined in
anyone
a
saw that coming.
straitjacket.
That was an
Yeah,
intense
that was
scene.
straight.
It was the
Dude.
noise.
Literally-
He's moving. All you hear is. Oh,
Dude,
no.
He ripped
And
that
just
thing out from the
smiles.
root and just spits it directly
dude,
into his eye.
nah.
Perfect game. 10 out of 10. Bring out your cards.
And you know what? You know what it reminded me of, honestly? Going back to Daredevil with Ben Affleck, the bullseye killing the old lady with the peanut.
Peanut.
That's what it reminded me
Yeah.
of.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Reminded me. I was like, oh shit, it's the peanut
Oh,
scene.
man.
I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Kevin.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Back back to the swordsman and Fisk.
Back
He
to the
pulls
back
him
to the
into the
party. Yeah.
office.
Ugh.
Back to the party. Let's
That
get
was a
back
quick
to the
talk. That was a
ball.
quick talk about the okay. And now back to regular schedule programming.
Poor Kev.
Thanks, man.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
He's doing great.
We-
Kev,
it's
thank you
all
for
love.
powering through, homie. Thank you.
I know our boy's sick. He can't keep it together. He's trying though. He's doing great. A few more minutes, Kev.
More nothing but medication can
Dude,
help.
let's talk about this freaking powder keg of a party. You got all the fuses there and all the trails of gunpowder. You got BB, you got the commissioner, you got Fisk flexing his power in ways that are freaking diabolical. You got Vanessa there running her thing. You got Matt standing up Dr. Glenn, who I didn't recognize with straight hair. I was like, who's this? And I was like, oh, it's her.
She looks better with straight hair.
You got to
She
just
looks
talk
different.
about how this
Yeah.
party kicks off,
But like,
and it's a freaking coronation.
yeah,
Really,
it is.
it's literally Kingpin and Vanessa walking in, being essentially
Yeah.
coronated as the
King
city.
and queen of the ball.
Yeah,
And then you have all that going on, and
Yeah.
then you have the swordsman comes in. But not even the conversation really quickly before he had his conversation with Fisk. He goes up to that lady, Miss Artemis, and he's asking, "Where's your husband?" And she is shook. She goes, best not to offend him, talking about Kingpin. Have you seen my husband? And he took it as a joke, but no, we don't. Where is Mr. Artemis now? But it just shows you that Kingpin is doing stuff behind the scenes to get that Red Hook project pushed. her husband is missing for a reason, and the Red Hook project, it's happening, is going forward, which brings the swordsman into Fisk's office. And Fisk is not happy. He's kind of pissed off, and he's offended. He feels like he was disrespected.
He totally was, though. Like, he tried to do it like the legit way, and like a little kid, it didn't work. He's gonna go about it his own way, and that
He sure
involves
did.
a lot of blackmail.
He's going back to Kingpin ways.
And he tells him
Bingo.
straight, he's like, before you think this is funny, let's talk about your little character, the swordsman. Does my task force need to come pay you a visit? And he's like, is that a threat? And he's pissed, but he goes, I think you would rather give a donation than have his angry task force at his door.
Yep.
He was doing that the
Bingo.
rest of the night with certain individuals, taking them into that little office, talk about something, and every time you see someone walk out, like we said, when Matt shows up and you see him try to walk towards him and confront him, the camera work, you see that every person who walks out of that room like shook and scared. Like scared.
And then as soon as he's walking out, you got that kid taking pictures, and Fisk is like, get him, pal.
Yup.
Sick him.
Yeah, dude,
Total
he got some
Kingpin
French
move.
fried fingers.
out.
Like,
Anybody want some
no,
French fried fingers?
Oh,
that was not okay. That was,
Dude,
I thought like the tooth was bad. That was up there, dude. I can't watch the. Ooh, it creeps me out.
It
the
just
craziest
shows,
thing
like-
with that scene is the commissioner literally stops him and he looks him dead in the eye and says, "That wasn't assault. This is."
Well, he
Oh,
doesn't
and
answer
you
to the
hear
commissioner
the-
anymore. He answers to the flipping mayor.
And
Yep.
he tells him flat out, and the commissioner's scared. He is
Yep.
shook. Like, this dude just deep fried chicken his hand with not even an ounce of remorse, not an ounce of
What do
care.
you say? He's like, I'm gonna make sure this man has like a hard time wiping his ass.
And the commissioner shook, and that takes us right into when he's walking out and talking into BB. And BB's on the same page. He's like, I have files on all these guys. All these guys we have files on.
Because she says she writes articles, but not all of them are under her name.
Exactly. So, but your boy Green Eyes, Kevin, they made it seem like he was paying attention to them. Like, I was just like, oh, the commissioner's gonna die.
Yeah.
BB better get them reports before the commissioner dies, because he gonna die.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. And
Yeah, I don't think he's making out of it.
no,
even he says it to her. She's like, he's like, do you know that he was a suspect of your uncle's murder?
Yep, we all know he killed him.
Hey, suspect. He was the prime victim.
Gentlemen, this brings us to the ball. Now we get to discuss everything that happened, the conversation
Yes.
between Matt and Vanessa, Fisk and Fisk and Vanessa, Matt and Heather, and how stunning they look. But
yeah,
I know Mike was getting ready to
Yo.
talk about how Daredevil walked in that thing like Matt.
but I want to talk real quick. This dude, the fist shuffle.
Dude,
Oh my god, I
man's
got
got
fist dancing right here,
moves.
homie.
Fist
You got
dancing.
the
Man.
guns, bang bang.
And the cow work again goes back, goes, this man's stage. All you see is him. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? What a terrible.
Someone needs to like
notice-
intercut that with some good music.
Oh, please, TikTok, please do your thing.
But
You
leading
know
up
they're
to that, we
gonna-
got Matt with the total
no,
fumble.
But did you realize that the contrast in her red dress to his white suit, the blood is on her hands, and he's trying to do something good for the city,
The painting.
and that contrast
Oh shoot,
They're
I didn't
and
put
the
that
painting,
together.
like
Yeah, I was thinking the painting.
the
Yeah.
storytelling and everything is so good.
Yup.
But
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
Matt walks in. I don't even know if he had his stick. I think he did have his
He did.
walking stick.
He did.
He had his stick
He did.
up until
He
the
threw it on a
point
tray.
that they dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has his stick up until the point that they dance, but he's holding it more up than like out and down, like walking around. And he's clumsily bumping into people.
Yeah.
No, he's in a hurry trying to like get to Kingpin. And then he sees
And
his
then
girlfriend.
he's Heather, and he straight lies to her, and
Not
she
even
catches
lying.
him. You're not
He
even
wasn't even
listening
paying
now.
attention to her.
Yeah,
He wasn't
Mm.
even listening. She
and
literally
he's
says,
busy.
"You're not listening," and all he hears is the zoom in from the audio. He's trying to
Yep.
listen to Fisk and everything.
Yeah,
He's not paying her a no mind. He's got one thing in mind, and that's Kingpin.
and he
Yup.
goes, "I'll explain everything. You just it'll make sense. Just do what I need you to do. You're gonna have to take the lead on this dance." And he
Oh,
puts his
that was the
walking
funny
stick
part.
on the thing,
To
and
dance.
their
The way he
communication,
said it.
the way Fisk communicates to Matt. And at first, I'm like, every time he tries to talk to say something, he's staring away from Vanessa. And I was like, oh, maybe Vanessa doesn't know that he's Daredevil. Because every time he would talk, it was like when he was turning opposite way. And then Buck comes, gets the phone call, Bullseye's out. And he runs over to tell Fisk. And the look on Vanessa's face said it all. And he heard her heartbeat. And that's when he says the words, "It was her," which I think threw everyone here for a loop. Definitely threw me for a loop.
I don't know on that one. I think he
Absolutely.
was always
100%.
trying to get to Vanessa. I don't think he was trying to get the Kingpin. If he was trying to get the Kingpin, it was to say, do you know what Vanessa did?
No.
Something always, the entire scene
Yeah,
seemed
wasn't he
like
like
to
going
me
right
that
up the
he was
Kingpin and then
trying
they
to get
like
to
shine
her, not to get
put the
the
light on
Kingpin.
him?
No, because he was going towards the Kingpin. They flashed the light. And then the guy came to tell Vanessa. He'd tell Fisk. And then Fisk, then Vanessa's heart drops and you see her looking at Fisk like, oh shit. And then they zoom in, or the hearing goes directly to her heartbeat, and Matt hearing her heartbeat. And then he says to Heather, he goes, or he says to himself while in front of Heather, he goes, "It's not him. It wasn't him. It's her." So it was her
Okay, I
that
missed
set
that
up
part.
Foggy. Yeah. It was her that set up Foggy. And then he bumps so casually into them and takes over the dance with Vanessa. And he
And
goes, "I
it was
know what you did."
and it was her face. She said, "I know it was you. I know you killed. You're the one that put the hit on Foggy." She lit up. You could
Yeah.
tell in her face.
But he heard the heartbeat too. And then like, yeah, then it was off to the races.
And
You're
then what
quick-
does Fisk say? What does Fisk say to Heather? Mike, you had saved, my friend.
Oh, that's right. So one of the greatest lines that I've learned in the past year of my life is secrets keep us sick. And like he said it on there, and that blew my mind. Because it's absolutely true. I loved it.
But that whole
But
scene, even that, it was even when they were dancing and Matt was just staring at them, even though he can't see them, but just him just seeing Fisk happy and how Matt is just like
so distraught. His
distraught.
world's
Yeah, and it's
collapsing.
and because he has he feels like he has nobody. I mean, Foggy's gone. Karen moved. Like he has no one he can rely on. It's all him. And I love the part where he's like when he says to Heather, "I need we're at to go in there, but you gotta have to lead."
I need you to lead.
I need you to lead. He throws the stick on the plate. Where is that? Where's she taking his sticks at? That's the real question, people. Where are they putting the stick at?
It went to the dishwasher.
Okay.
But like, yeah,
Oh man.
that whole conversation, and she just calmly tells him, you need to relax. Like Vanessa I know you killed my friend. And she goes, you need to relax. And then Daredevil just hears this gun. Click, click. He hears Bullseye.
The camera from the first episode
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Oh man,
The whole aspect
come
ratio changes. The
on.
whole thing shifts.
Oh man, it was so good. The
He
show's
does the
been so good
unthinkable.
with the camera work. The camera
Yeah,
work.
Cinematically, they're doing an
Mwah.
amazing job with this movie, this show.
It
It
feels like
really
a
is
movie.
like a movie. Yeah, it feels like a movie. There, every camera move, every move of like, all right, I'm gonna zoom in on his ear because he's listening, and then zoom out to where he is, and the audio is gonna get more intense. And every move that they do, highlighting different things and showing it all, has just been masterpiece. If they don't get nominated for an award on this show, they're rooked. Like
yeah,
it
this show
is phenomenal.
Penguin won awards, so I don't see how this show will not win awards. But oh my god, like he does what I don't think any of us expected Matt to jump in front of the bullet to save Fisk. And
Right.
it's a callback to what, you know, Bullseye said to him in the prison. He goes, good men defend bad men like me. You know, to basically, you got to prove yourself you're a good person. And this was Matt basically proven to himself that I'm actually a good person. I'm saving my worst enemy, the person I want dead, probably the most. Well, until about 5 minutes ago when he found out she did it.
I was gonna
You know?
say I bet you if they never found out that Vanessa was the one who put the hit on Foggy, he would take that bullet for Kingpin.
Absolutely not.
He would
I don't
not.
think so. I don't think he would have. But then they show him on the floor and he's just looking up at the ceiling and you see red. To me, that just said, okay, Daredevil's back.
Yeah, the red, because we've been seeing the blue with Bullseye, and now we see the red and him
Yep.
laying upside down. He's about to be born again, people. Eh?
Yep. I was
Yeah,
about to say
pretty
that.
much.
You literally
Yeah.
are getting the depth of Matt Murdock for the rise and the reborn of Daredevil.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I have so many questions. Like so many
Shoot.
questions. Does
Shoot.
Fisk what so like how does Vanessa tell Fisk everything? She has to tell him now. Or does she lie and make Daredevil the bad guy, and that's how Fisk, you know, tells everyone. I still think that Fisk will tell the world or New York City that he is Daredevil, that Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
But
You know,
but I feel like now in a way, Fisk owns him now. He owes him because he took a bullet for him.
Mm.
I think Matt did
you
that
think,
to.
but he's not Fisk anymore. He's the Kingpin now. So you got to look at it from that angle too. He's no longer Mayor Fisk. He is Kingpin. He is running shit.
I don't know,
So
man.
I'm curious. Like I'm curious. How does he react to be like, why would you kill Foggy? Or does he know? Because in the dance, he was telling Vanessa, like, you know, people hide behind masks and you don't know people. And he's trying to tell Vanessa, he's trying to tell Heather kind of that Matt's Daredevil. Like he's making at the same time, Matt's talking to Vanessa saying, I know you killed Foggy. You know,
No, I don't. I mean, I think at first, like, I think when Fisk and Matt had that talk at the diner, I think at that point he didn't know.
yeah.
I think up until the ball, I think Vanessa behind the scenes told him, or at least he figured it out.
Yeah, there.
Maybe
It's a
when
good
he went to
possibility.
when he put him in the other section of the prison. I think that's probably when he knew. That's what he found
Yeah.
out.
That I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen in the next episode. We only got one episode left, and
One more.
we don't know where's Frank.
Oh, he's coming.
What
That
there's
last
one
episode, he
episode.
coming. He
What
coming.
happened to the vigilante Punisher crew that
Well,
Oh, he
in the
coming.
beginning?
Vigilante Punisher crew is all the task
Yeah, all
force.
little cops.
No, they're coming. He's
They're
coming.
they're all
I'm
the,
telling you.
task
They
force.
haven't
I'm
showed that
telling
yet.
you. Frank is gonna find out what
They
happened to
haven't
Matt.
showed
Ooh boy. Ooh.
We haven't got Miles Morales' dad yet. Like what's
Oh,
going on,
come
people?
on.
Come
man.
on.
You can't get everything you want. God
Crazy
damn it.
thought here. Crazy thought.
Okay.
What if Vanessa was planning on having Kingpin killed?
I was thinking.
What
that
if
too.
she's been pulling the strings this entire time?
Oh, she has been pulling all the strings.
And yeah, Kingpin is seeming more like the Kingpin right now, but she knows this isn't going to last because she knows it's not in him anymore. The fact that she had to go kill Adam and he
No,
didn't.
She didn't.
Just hear me out.
No,
I think, what if she's been pulling the strings this whole entire time? What if she knew where he was? What if she was waiting for Kingpin to either kill him or something like that to happen so she could turn around and do it? It's all a power play. It's all like her wearing red. Yeah, the blood is on her hands. It's her play here. What if she was playing this line the whole entire time? And then this is going to be the major conflict that you're going to see that's going to come out in the next episode.
What if in the end, right? What if in the end of the episode, or maybe even next season, Fisk dies and she becomes the new Kingpin?
No.
Just
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. I think the Kingpin is back. I think he's there to stay. He's gonna be Mayor Fisk, but he's gonna go back to his crime ways of doing things, and he's gonna run the underground and he's gonna run the city at the same time. He's gonna take full power, and that's, at least, I don't know if he'll take full power. I think that's his end game, and he says that at the beginning of the episode, when he's in front of Red Hook with Vanessa. She goes, "You threw it away." She goes, "I didn't throw it away. I just transformed it." Vanessa's been pulling a lot of the strings by far. She's been manipulating Kingpin. She's been manipulating a lot of things. She's been taking care of the underground and he says it. We wouldn't be able to do this project or what we have if it wasn't for how you handled our finances and how you handled the business while I was gone. Like, Kingpin is back. Like, you're gonna get a comic book accurate Kingpin going forward. Vanessa, I think, she's his right side. She's the first lady.
Now,
in a messed up way.
Who thought? Obviously, I don't think any of us thought Matt was going to take that bullet. Who did you guys think was going to take that bullet? I thought it was either going to be Vanessa or it was going to be Dr. Glenn. I really thought for a minute.
I knew it was going to be.
I couldn't even see that shot coming.
Yeah.
I thought that whole thing was going to end in Matt just like bare knuckle brawling Kingpin.
He wanted to
going at him because it was all set up like that. He's hunting him down. He's like, that it was going to be something like that.
I feel like I'm the only one that thought it wasn't gonna be that the bullet wasn't gonna go to Heather. I know that she's not even in the conversation right now.
Oh no,
it's literally just Matt, Fisk, or Vanessa. It's one of the three.
Yeah, to me, it was Vanessa because Vanessa set everything up. Vanessa's the one that's hired him to have Foggy killed. She set everything up. She was supposed to make sure he was able to escape and not be put in prison. And now he's in prison and going into Gen Pop.
But why shoot?
Mm.
Why shoot?
Because he's a Looney Tune, dude.
Why shoot Vanessa?
What?
Because
No,
he's
but no.
pissed.
Why was he trying to? Why was he shooting Fisk? Because I think Vanessa probably told him that it was under Fisk. I think she lied the bullseye and said that Kingpin wants you
Could
to
be.
take the hit on Foggy.
Could
So
be.
she
Fisk was
she went
gone. How you think she got well, no, she already had. Fisk was back.
but I don't
But
understand
before
it.
Fisk was back, she could have definitely like lied to it. I don't know as far as that, but
If
she
anything, just take both of them out. If
There's a
anything.
lot of statements in this episode of ambiguity that like aren't absolutely certain, especially when it comes to Zero, and especially when like him saying I'm not supposed to be here, like things like that. Like there were other conversations that were had that we don't
Mhm.
know about that
They may
clearly
be
like
open for
this isn't part of the
speculation.
plan, you know, and we can only speculate on.
He was definitely promised for something.
Yeah.
Definitely promised. Absolutely.
And Vanessa I think, my personal opinion, I think Vanessa backed out of the deal and thought, let me put him in Gen Pop, or let me ask Kingpin to put him in Gen Pop to get him killed, so that way I cover my tracks and there's no way that Foggy being killed can come back to me, and nobody's none the smarter. No one knows anything. I'll never have to admit it to Kingpin. Matt will never know. Daredevil will never know. And she just had him put in Gen Pop to cover her tracks, or Kingpin, but either way, someone was covering their tracks by putting him in Gen Pop and hoping he gets killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you guys want to bring up or talk about before we?
We got a few things going on. I think we got a
Yeah,
few things.
I want to make sure we talk about we finish Daredevil up before we get to those little announcements there. You little tease you.
Well,
Next
yeah,
episode's
no.
going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't even like want to speculate on what. Like,
Don't
next
be
week's episode's gonna be.
surprised if next episode is a slight bit of a letdown on the story side of it.
Oh,
Not
we're
that it's going to
definitely
be a
getting
letdown of an
cliffhanger.
episode. It's going to be one of those like, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those episodes where we're going to walk away from going like, man, that was such an episode, but it hasn't changed anything as far as story goes.
The next
know.
episode will end with the biggest cliffhanger ever.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, and I hate it.
Because
I
they're
feel
ready in season 2, so they already know what's going on. So
they're already in the middle of it, and they're already prepping for season 3. I
they'll
love it.
probably end with like a glimpse of the Punisher or a few other street Luke Cage, Jessica Jones type character.
Ooh,
I don't know, but
tease.
they'll be teasing something for season 2. So unfortunately, next week will be our last Daredevil Reborn podcast. Well, not really, but
just for now.
Just for now.
For the
But
season. It's
like
the season finale.
It's like what Mike says. Just put the pin in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but oh my god. I'm just like trying to think of what's next.
This episode has to be over an hour long, if anything.
This episode 8 was like 5 or 10 minutes longer than the last couple have been.
Yeah,
this
so
was like 55 minutes. The other ones have been
this
like
episode
45.
be kind of the same length as the first episode?
That'd be dope.
Hopefully.
They got
maybe.
There's a lot to unpack.
I know.
You got 45 minutes to communicate.
Don't be surprised if the next pod next week is going to be 2 hours long. But
part A and B.
But Jose, you have some announcements to tell the people.
Yeah, brother. Like we started talking about last week, Free Comic Book Day is Saturday, May 3rd here at Baby Gorilla. We'll be here from 12 to 7. We announced 3 comic book artists last week: Erica Schultz, Tori Hill and Anthony Bartolucci that are going to be joining us. And this
Mhm.
past Monday, if you follow me on Baby Gorilla's social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I announced that we, Geeks at the Nerd Table, will be shooting live here for podcasts. So there's a chance that people might be on the podcast or we'll act for comments and do interviews. We'll see. But I also announced that we're having 2 cosplayers. We're gonna have Robert Paul Day from Heroes for Hire. He's gonna be here dressed up as Wolverine and the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you mean this photo?
So
Oh,
good looking.
that
Whoa.
guy.
Ooh.
God, so
This
good.
guy is amazing with his costumes. And that
And that
Hawk one,
And this one?
I think this was this past weekend, his first showing with his Hawk. And I think he has 2 different heads for it. But
Nice.
fantastic, dude. Like
Ridiculous.
Look at
this
that.
dude,
I mean, look at this. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
and this is his work. This is what he does, like he's great at what he does. We're actually going to have if you were here for our 1-year anniversary, he was actually Optimus Prime, but we also had Theo here from Critical Mass, and he was here as the Batman who laughs, or the
Bang!
Joker who laughs.
That gentleman right there, the psycho.
Yikes.
Fantastic. It's a creepy looking get up, but man, if he doesn't have
It looks
kids
amazing.
dancing with him
The
and having
detail is
fun,
insane. The details, it's so good.
I was worried that kids were going to be scared with he's a scary looking character, the Batman who laughs. And no, my kids, all these other kids were having a great time with him. And he's actually coming with his new cosplay that he's doing from Fallout. He's coming as the Ghoul. Yeah,
Whoa.
this dude is
Bang!
Looks
a
amazing.
professional. This is him. This is not the TV show. This is not a clip from that. This is actually Theo as the Ghoul. So yeah, three more people added to the list. We got more announcements coming out that's Robert Paul Day. This dude does parties, anything. Both of the guys, Theo, you can find them on their social medias, Critical Mass or Heroes for Hire on Instagram. They're fantastic. So yeah, go check out their page. Come join us Saturday, May 3rd for a great day of fun. Meet some people, meet some nerds, meet new friends,
Hell yeah.
have fun, get some autographs, and just have a great time. You might
Buy
even
a
meet a
comic book.
gorilla.
Buy a comic book.
Get your kids to read comic books, people. Your
Right?
nephew, nieces, grandchildren. Reading is
Absolutely.
fundamental.
It is.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else?
Nothing
you guys
like
wanna-
having a comic book in your hands.
Exactly.
I've read many comic books digitally. Not the same. Not the
No.
same at all.
No,
No, it
there's
is not.
nothing like much like physical media. There's nothing like holding it in your hand. And
Yeah.
as a weirdo old school guy, there's nothing like smelling an old comic book. It's got this. I don't know, man. That's my happy spot. Give me the
True.
eyebrow, Kev. I don't care. I'll die on that hill.
Man, sniffing comic books. All right.
Go for it.
Don't sniff drugs, but sniff comic books.
Look, I spent as much money as like a hardcore drug head would do, but my body is still in good shape and my thumbs are well defined.
I don't know. All the ink and the fumes coming off them. I think we got as much damage going on.
Oh, nah.
All right,
It's
all right, all right,
half
all right,
as
all
damage
right.
as
Reel it in,
trash.
guys. Reel it in.
We're wrapping this up here. We don't need to have this conversation.
You can edit that out. No worries.
I ain't editing. This is everyone gets
Nah,
to see this.
let it roll.
Yeah, I'm letting it roll. Just like what Mike said, I'm letting it roll. Listen, this was fun. I mean, we got one more episode, but what do you guys think about this episode? What do you think about this whole series? We got one more. Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The Geeks at the Nerd Table. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and also follow Jose Baby Gorilla Comics on Instagram and TikTok as well.
And
Amazing
Facebook.
stuff. And
For us old people, we do
Yeah,
Facebook.
Yep.
I thought it'd be MySpace for you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
all
I'll
right,
go
Kev.
back to MySpace.
I got
Sorry.
t-shirts older than you, buddy.
I wouldn't be surprised. But Thank you guys so much for watching. This series has been amazing. I said it's top 3 for me. I don't even care how this season finale is going to go. But make sure you guys come back next week. We'll be talking the whole season with the finale. Oh boy, it's going to be a good one. But until next time, guys, we out.
Adios.
Adios.